Started. I'm going to call the annual meeting to order. And we're going to use the Zoom participant list for our attendance records. So we won't need all of you to go through and state your name and raise your hand or anything like that. Okay. Bethany, we can go ahead and go to the next slide if you'd like. We are the Iowa Nonprofit Alliance, and we make it possible for nonprofits to achieve more. That is our mission as an association. We exist exclusively to serve and make life better for our members, which in this case are nonprofits and nonprofit supporters across the state of Iowa. We basically do four things. We create and share high quality and affordable resources for nonprofit leaders and nonprofit allies. We offer educational opportunities to help nonprofit staff, board, and allies become better at doing what they need to do in order to create positive outcomes for their communities and constituents. We organize the network. We all know that many hands make light work. And so trying to help all of us be more successful by organizing resources, information, and action items across the state. And we serve as a unified voice. One of the things that we hear over and over from members is that nonprofit advocacy is and continues to be very important. And without a state association, sometimes that happened in a hit or miss fashion. So that's one of the things that we are hoping to create a lot of value for all of our members through, is that unified voice on those issues impacting nonprofit organizations and the people that we serve. All right, brief overview of our history. This effort, while it was officially launched in 2022, started way back in 2017 with the recognition that Iowa was one of just a handful of states across the country that did not have an association representing nonprofit organizations. And so a group got together, conducted a feasibility study, led focus groups, all of the things that you would imagine that a statewide association would do prior to its launch. The Iowa Nonprofit Alliance did getting to the point where in 2022 it officially launched, and here we are today in 2024 holding our first ever annual member meeting. So we are excited to be here. Last year, as you will see, was a great year, and we have some really great things planned for the upcoming year to help all of our members continue to be successful. Okay, this is a map of member organizations of the National Council of Nonprofits. And as you can see, there are very few states represented on this map that do not have a statewide association. And up until 2022, we were one of the minority states that did not have that unified voice for our nonprofit sector. Happy to be part of that majority now, and to be part of the National Council of Nonprofits, where we continue to learn best practices, strategies, and access resources that allow us to create more value for all of our members, including a recent grant or funding that we received from the National Council of Nonprofits to help us think about our continued sustainability as an organization. So we are excited about the work that will allow us to do, and the longevity that will help create for this organization, so that you all know that we are going to be a reliable partner in your work for many years to come. Okay, it's my pleasure to introduce the Iowa Nonprofit Alliance board, officers, and staff. These are the outgoing board officers. Julianne Gassman is the president. I am replacing her in 2024, this next month, in fact. Paul Thielen is the vice president. He will continue to be the vice president. Jennifer Smizer is the treasurer. Brian Aronson, who you'll hear from in a little bit, is going to be replacing her as treasurer here very shortly. And Sharifa Jones is our secretary, and she will continue on in that role. We have staggered officer terms, so every year 2 officers leave, two are added. And then other directors, Emily Shields, Roz Smith, Matt Unger, myself, and Brian Aronson, who you will hear from in a little bit. One of the goals that we have as a board, and I should mention, anyone interested in becoming a member of the board, feel free to reach out to Bethany at any point. We have a nominating process and we have an election process, but we are absolutely looking for qualified board members who have a passion for helping increase and improve the sector across the state and create real value for our members across the state. So we try and create a pretty representative distribution of board members in terms of where they live across the state or where they work across the state, as well as diversity in the types of organizations that board members are associated with in the nonprofit sector. And then also, obviously, like any good board, a diversity of skills and experiences that those board members bring to the table. And so if you're wondering, would I be a good board member for the Iowa Nonprofit Alliance? That's a great question. Bethany can help you think about that, provide the resources in terms of our board member talent chart, all of that kind of stuff to help you make an informed decision about whether you'd like to consider being nominated for the board. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, moving on to the INA staff and team. Right now, all of our staff members are pretty much contracted staff members. We've got Bethany Snyder, who is contracted as our executive director right now. She is the one driving the bus in a lot of ways on a daily basis, and all of the great emails that you see and all the great content that you see and all the great workshops that you see available, all of the great events that you see, a lot of that comes directly from Bethany's leadership. So we have a lot of thanks and appreciation for her. Skylar Ramsey is our Vista and is serving in a program associate role. Skylar has been a tremendous asset to this organization. Even though they are a recent college graduate, they bring just a boatload of talent and experience to the organization. And we have been, in terms of Vistas, we absolutely hit the Vista Powerball Mega Millions jackpot with Skylar, who's not even on this call. So this isn't even reaching them. And then we also partner with Intuit Digital as our digital consultant to help us with our social media presence and our newsletters and our website and all of those digital aspects to the organization, making sure that the things that we're working on are getting to you and the things that you need are getting to us. Okay, we are going to go through the business agenda now. The first piece of that is our 2023 accomplishments. I'm going to turn it over to Bethany for this section, and she's going to talk about all the great things that our members helped us accomplish in 2023.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited for you to be here. Sorry, I'm still getting over a crud. Our kiddo went to camp and brought home COVID to us last week. So it's the gift that keeps on giving.
And a camp t-shirt, probably.
Yes.
T-shirt and COVID.
Yes. So yes, I'm here to talk about what we did in 2023. And like Jordan said, none of this could have been done without the help of our nonprofit members and sector. So thank you. We did a more extensive blog post on this, which I posted in the chat. But as of this is our membership. This is a snapshot in time. As you know, membership fluctuates every single week. People are renewing and jumping on. So this was as of the 12/31/23. We had 239 individuals. That's up to about 300 and so. So this is made up of organizations and those staff from those organizations. We have 175. It's up to about 200 organizational or institutional members. So maybe that it's a university department, government entity, a business ally, and again, those organizations. And then we have our 32 business ally members, which are almost up to 40. These are our individual our businesses who serve the nonprofit sector by either their consultants or vendors, or small businesses who really support the nonprofit sector. We are really excited about this. Our goal was 200 members the first year. And our goal for Business Ally members was 15. I always say it's interesting creating goals for an organization that hasn't existed, because it's all just really taking shots in the dark. We, of course, have been looking at our colleagues across the country and asking them as well. But again, there's no place like Iowa. And so it's all going to be unique and different. So we're really excited about that, about meeting these goals. Our goal for this year is 300 members. And so we regularly report out on where we are. If I hope you follow, read all the wonderful communications that we send you. So this is one of the most exciting things that I think happened in 2023. We held 32 events and workshops throughout the year. So this counts all those virtual trainings we did. We did 8 launch events, and then we held the Nonprofit Summit. So that includes all of those. And we had 450 nonprofit professionals attend those events. This just blew us out of the water when we did the analysis. But it just really shows that Iowa's nonprofit professionals are yearning for these kind of connections. And 45% of INA members attended an event last year. And again, a lot of our sister associations don't keep these kind of statistics, so we're not sure. Is this high? Is this low? I don't know. I think it's awesome. So that's what we're going to go with. And then we held a nonprofit summit. As many of you may know, this was like the 17th or 18th Iowa Nonprofit Summit, but this is the first one that the Iowa Nonprofit Alliance produced and put on. Like with many things when we came on the scene, a lot of our awesome partners in the nonprofit sector had been piecing together some of these missing components that Iowa's nonprofits needed because they didn't have a statewide association, like professional development, like training, like networking. And when we came on the scene, a lot of organizations came to us and said, great, now you can take this. And the Iowa Nonprofit Summit was one of those. And so we were excited to do it. It's definitely not best practices to take on an annual conference your first year of being a nonprofit organization, but we knew it's what the sector needed. We had 256 total attendees with 86 organizations represented, and we had 15 sessions held. You'll be hearing more about the 2024 Nonprofit Summit later in this meeting. But now I'm going to turn over to Brian on the really fun stuff.
Why does everyone, when they lead into me getting to talk about 990s and budgets, say that it's super fun? So yeah, Brian Aronson, I'm a CPA with Creative Planning and Bergen KDV. We serve the nonprofit sector, and I'm the incoming treasurer. So one thing that we talked quite a bit as a board this year, as Bethany and Jordan were saying, we're new to this, and as we've grown and starting to grow, we had options as far as which 990 to file. We decided or elected to file the full 990, which is obviously the most transparent we can be, and we believe as a member organization, as a growing the opportunity to provide transparency, to tell our story. The 990 EZ did not provide all of that. So we did file our June 30, 2023 full 990 on May 6th. So ahead of the May 15th deadline. All of you are most likely aware, but the 990 obviously covers both quantitative and qualitative information, including our total revenue, total expenses, mission, program, accomplishments, board policies, procedures, board of directors listing, and much more. So again, in an effort to be transparent, that's where the board elected to file the full form, and that's been done. As we looked at the fiscal 2025, so this will be for the year ending June 30th, 2025. We've adopted the following budget, summarized budget. Again, a lot of this is starting to come together from at least a full year of experience, but we continue to build on that. So on the revenue side, we've got 213,000 is our approximate budget, and that's really broken down into 3 categories: membership, grants and donations, and then program and summit. So looking at diversifying our revenue streams between those three major buckets. Something that is kind of off on its own. This year we've got the other, which is the salary and benefit survey. And then on the expense side, you know, as you can see, we're pretty much a balanced budget with 212,000 of expense budgeted against 213,000 of revenue. We've got our contractors and consultants, personnel and staff, summit expenses, the salary and benefits expense, you know, the study on there, some things in the other, postal, insurance, all those things add up. And then our marketing and website. I do want to say that we ended the year with approximately 30,000 of cash, virtually no liabilities outside of some deferred revenue for summit expenses or summit revenue for as of June 30, 2023. So we continue to evolve and hopefully be transparent in how we're spending the membership dollars.
I want to pause right now and let folks take this in and ask us any questions if you have any. Just a reminder, if you've been to any of our member orientations, we talk about that the ideal funding for the Iowa Nonprofit Alliance is 3 different streams: membership, you know, programming, or so earn income through programming. That's we charge for many of our trainings, obviously the Nonprofit Summit, and then foundation and corporate support through grants and donations. And so our goal is a third. We are just about there. So we're really excited about that. But if there's any questions, I want to give a pause for a moment. You can either just take yourself on mute and ask, or type it in the chat.
And while we wait for questions to come in, I'm going to just echo, I think, one of my favorite quotes of the year so far, which is Bethany's, "I think it's awesome, so that's what I'm going to go with." Hopefully we can all keep that spirit as we progress in our work in a challenging sector sometimes, doing the things that make our communities, the businesses and people in those communities thrive.
If you don't come up with one on your own now, obviously you know how to get a hold of us and can ask us later. So thank you. Well, we haven't, we will be putting, I think we talked about this, the 990 on our website. Yes, our goal is to be transparent. We're just kind of figuring out the best way to do that. So stay tuned for more. All right.
We're going to move into some exciting announcements here. First, we're going to turn it over to another board member, our Vice President, Paul Thielen from the Larned A. Waterman Iowa Nonprofit Resource Center at the University of Iowa. He is going to share some exciting information about the Nonprofit Salary and Benefits Survey and the coming report.
Excellent. Jordan, can you hear me?
We can.
Great. Hello, everyone. Yes, so this week we hope to be able to make available the inaugural statewide salary and benefits survey here for Iowa's nonprofit sector. Back in 2017, we had referenced the feasibility study. The salary and benefits report was one of the resources that was near the top of the list. And so we met with a lot of our peer entities to talk about their approach to this resource. Ended up using a vendor that currently supports this for Nebraska, so the Nonprofit Association of the Midlands. We were hoping to get good responses. We did. We got over 300 responses from entities. And then as with vendor with NAM, we decided to produce and co-produce this year our studies together. So folks will get not only the Iowa data, but also the corresponding Nebraska data statewide. And so
Sorry, Paul, you're
5%.
Paul, you're breaking up. But I can continue talking while Paul, if you want to find a new location. So we will be, hopefully this week, be coming out with the nonprofit salary and benefits survey. There will be a section of it that will do an analysis of both the Iowa and Nebraska organizations together. So they'll give that really big regional view. Our thoughts were off, Des Moines is much more similar than Omaha, than other parts of the state. And then I put a link into the chat where you can see what the price is going to be, how much it's going to be for all the, you get different discounts, whether you're an INA member, whether you took the, survey, etc. We will be sending out promo codes this week. So if you took the survey, you'll get a promo code, etc. If you're a member, you'll get one. You can see which Iowa orgs took the survey at this moment. If you click on that link, there's a click here to see the list of participating nonprofits, and you can see the list of Iowa nonprofits that participated. Paul, start talking if you think you have a good signal.
Is this better? I'm traveling in beautiful Black Hawk County, so any folks from Black Hawk.
We can hear you now.
So yes, so look for that survey. It's very exciting. A lot of great data and information is coming out. We're very happy to partner with the Nonprofit Association of the Midlands and Nebraska to have that for you. And so a big development for this week. The second item I want to talk about was in terms of advocacy. We have the National Council of Nonprofits has their Day on the Hill on Wednesday, and I'll be participating in that in DC. So having meetings with our elected officials in Washington, DC, again, sharing with those folks, just what is, more possible by supporting nonprofit entities through meaningful legislation. And so we'll be participating in that event on Wednesday. So a lot happening this week in terms of resource development as well as advocacy.
Great.
I'll hand it back over to you. Yes, Jordan.
And I'm going to turn it over to Bethany. She's got 2 exciting announcements. This is a 2-for-1 deal. 2 announcements, 1 Bethany. Go ahead and take it.
Thank you. So some other things that we have just launched. June 1 was our Career Center is open. You can go there right now. We have about 7 or 8 jobs posted, and they're all over the state. So exciting. And they all include salary ranges. That's one of the things that we are very adamant about, is that if we don't want your time to be wasted. We don't want candidates' time to be wasted. Just put in a salary range and we can make sure no one's time is wasted. So go and check those out. The easiest way to do it is when you go there, just put search for all options, or I can't remember, no filters, and you'll see all the positions that are there. For any INA member can post a job for free. If you're not an INA member, it's about $100 a month to post, which is still a really good deal. We will be promoting those in upcoming newsletters, etc. I'll put the link to make sure everyone is part of the INA Minute. And then obviously, if you're a member, you get member-only communications as well, where we will highlight those positions. The next thing I want to talk about, which this is hot off the press, we have not promoted these yet. We'll start promoting these this week, are our nonprofit workforce town hall meetings. We are partnering with some community foundations across the state, as well as nonprofit organizations to bring to your community to talk about nonprofit workforce issues. We're going to be providing some highlights of the salary and benefits study to tell us what it told us. We'll be having them for sale there, obviously, but also talking about some research that came out from the National Council of Nonprofits, and also have an opportunity. We'll be inviting lawmakers and legislators and candidates to attend these forums. They will not be prominently speaking, but we'll allow them to come and listen. So you have an opportunity to talk to them. And we'll also, part of these will have a little advocacy one-on-one training. So when you are talking to your lawmakers, you can be the most effective and confident when you do that. So you can see in the Quad Cities, we'll be kicking it off with the Quad Cities Community Foundation, who is partnering with the Community Foundation of Muscatine and the United Ways of Muscatine. Thank you, Quad Cities Community Foundation. There will be lunch there. That'll be July 31st. Then we'll be heading over to Spencer, August 21st. Hopefully they'll be dried out by then. We know they're having some crazy floodings right now. And the Spencer Commerce of Chamber Chamber of Commerce is hosting us at the Clay County Heritage Center. So we hope we'll have some snacks and beverages there. We'll be in the Des Moines Metro. We're going to pick a suburban area location for that one. And then we're going to try to be out in Western Iowa in September. And we have not confirmed that. But again, stay up to read your emails and you'll learn more about this. But just want to thank our community foundation partners for really stepping forward and being good partners with us.
Great, thanks, Bethany. We're excited for those two things. To have 7 jobs on a job board that just opened is pretty awesome. And so as you have open positions, or if you are looking to take on a new role or a role in addition to what you're already doing, sometimes that's the case. Definitely remember that this job board is available, and using it helps the sector communicate its workforce abilities. And then also those workforce town halls, we're excited for those. We know that workforce development, workforce retention is critical to the future success of the nonprofit sector in Iowa. We want to be attracting top talent. We want to be retaining top talent in this sector. It's a competitive workforce environment all across the state. And so helping to give you tools, empower you, and also to help bring up issues to the legislature that maybe are preventing you from having that top talent or retaining that top talent the way you need to. And then the last announcement here, we're going to be heading back to Paul Thielen for information about the 2024 Nonprofit Summit.
And Bethany, feel free to jump in here. But yes, we've gone from a biennial summit to an annual summit. So this October 22nd, isn't that right, Ben? Oh,
That's
sorry.
right. October
22nd in Cedar Rapids. And I might be breaking up here, so Bethany, you might take over here in a second. We'll have a full day, conference, putting this on with several partners, including the Iowa Commission on Volunteer Service, as well as several community foundations, our center at the University of Iowa. And so really excited. If you have saved that date, excellent. You should be getting more information about workshops, the keynote speakers, and we're excited to have this year's event outside of the Des Moines Metro. So even if you're from Des Moines, the central Iowa area, this is your chance to get out. If you haven't experienced some other parts of Iowa, to get to be able to enjoy the summit and all those peers that you are meeting through these networking and other conference events. And so look for more information to come from us in terms of registration, and very excited to be in Cedar Rapids this year.
Great, thanks, Paul. And if you are a business ally, we do have some expanded exhibitor space this year, which we are excited about. Last year, we hit our max pretty early on. This year, we have about double the exhibitor space, and you will be right in the mix, right down the middle of the hallway, in between all the workshops. So great visibility opportunities there. And if you are an exhibitor but want to go above and beyond, you can join the University of Iowa Waterman Nonprofit Resource Center. You can join IdeaBright, and you can join Alliant Energy and be a sponsor of the 2024 Summit. And we've got some great opportunities for sponsors as well. And then Bethany, anything else to say about the summit, except that it's going to be the state's best nonprofit party ever for 2024?
That's it. And we wouldn't want anyone to have FOMO. So be there.
Okay, so that takes care of the formal agenda for the 2024 annual member meeting. We're now going to open it up for Q&A. Feel free to drop a question in the chat or unmute yourself. We love hearing from our members as well. Anything on your mind, anything you think we need to be aware of or paying attention to, we continue to try and be as responsive as possible to our membership in order to best serve your needs. I'm counting to 50 in my head. So if you have a question, do it before I get to 50 in my head.
I thought it was 7 hippopotamuses was the rule now.
I like that.
Right.
And Jordan, Bethany, while we wait for a question or two, I was errant at not thanking our sponsors for the salary and benefits survey. So to IdeaBright, to the University of Northern Iowa, this year's sponsors, couldn't thank them enough, for their support, and wanted to thank you, both those entities for making this resource possible. So thank you for that.
All right, not seeing any questions, not hearing any questions. Oh,
Oh, Amanda, that is a great question. So, and I should have brought this up. Thank you for bringing it up. Amanda said, with the removal of the individual membership, is there a way individuals can continue to participate? So we are phasing out the individual membership. This year, we just felt there's lots of different reasons, considerations we made that. Yes, individuals can always participate. We always have the non-member. Anyone from the nonprofit sector can contribute and participate in our programming through our non-member pricing. Amanda, I would love to talk to you more if you do work for a nonprofit. If there's a barrier for you participating, we will be launching a new membership level early in July for young professionals. So you'll see more coming out about that. But Amanda, thank you so much for bringing that up.
yep. And I know one of the big considerations there was we want organizations to participate as membership, and that's our main goal. And so while we appreciate individuals participating, absolutely, what we really want is your organization to be a member, so that the individuals, not just one individual from that organization, can access all of the great resources, educational information, and events that we host. So again, any questions about that, you can reach out directly to Bethany. This is something that other associations across the country either recommended against having an individual membership or are doing it in different ways as well. So we're just trying to follow best practices in the choices we make, and probably chalk that one up to being a new organization for maybe having a membership change this early on. Okay, thanks everyone for being here. We look forward to a great rest of 2024 and then a really strong year in 2025. I'm going to call the annual meeting to conclusion, which is a made-up word.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.